Hey guys, welcome back to One Raw at a Time. I'm Juan,
I'm Marty.
aka Professor Marty, and we're doing it again. Another special guest. Who do we have today?
My name is Oz.
Oz.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Oz.
to meet you too.
Oz, welcome, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here today. And guys, we had Joel last time. We've had Cynthia. Oz is numero tres, right? Number 3 today. And we're doing this again to kind of share the Arayama family, right? We're trying to also fix our posture.
Yeah,
right?
fix a posture.
Oz is going to teach us a little bit about, we're going to learn about him, right? Kind of because, again, everyone has a story. We got awesome stories coming up with Oz and other special guests so that, again, we can learn from each other, right? We can also teach each other and then really just stay resilient because I know that's what helps me get through the day sometimes, knowing that someone's been there before. And also when I see a face, it's like, hey, he's not just a giant, scary, happy guy. Right? Like there's a story behind it, right?
There's always a story.
So thank you again for being here today, Oz, because it really it means a lot to me and Marty that people want to share their story, right? And kind of, continue to build the Orange Crush family, right? Marty, anything you want to say before we kick it off?
Man, I'm so glad you're here, Oz.
Oh,
this is
thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine a better third guest to have on here. So glad you're here and excited to get into it.
Yeah. Nice. So we start with everyone is kind of like, tell us a little bit about you, right? Like your upbringing, whatever, anything you want to share. And then, right? That's why we got these. First off, Oz got us these nice pillows. Yeah. What are they called?
Well,
what are they called?
Yeah, these are some meditation cushions.
And look, I'll demonstrate them. Look at this.
They make you stay and feel comfortable while you're sitting on a cross-leg position.
Yeah, such a big difference. Yeah. So guys, a little behind the scenes. We used to stop the podcast just because Marty and I'll put bloopers later. We just couldn't sit down anymore, right? Yeah. So who knows? We might go like 4 or 5 hours. So charge your phone.
Now that we're comfortable.
Yeah. But yeah, Oz, go ahead, take it away, buddy. We got nothing but time, and we're excited to learn.
Well, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it very much. And just a quick note is, about the pillows, it goes into a little bit of my story, right? The reason why I brought them is because I was talking with Juan, and he's like, hey, bro, you ready? I'm like, oh, no, I'm always ready. And he's like, you're ready to sit down for an hour because, Marty and I, we get tired of sitting in the cushions. And so in a very selfish way, I'm like, well, I have the solution for that. I want to be comfortable. So I'm going to bring some pillows, for my host so that we're all comfortable together. And so in a way, when, I learned a long time ago, when you take care of others, others take care of you. So here's the pillows, and I thank you.
Taking care of us. Thank you.
I'm old. That's sage wisdom right there.
Yeah, it'll come around.
It's shared wisdom. It comes around.
And we'll probably hear about that in your story then.
Yeah.
Right?
And when you see other people, you know that other people have done it. So you just kind of, keep doing it and create motion to it. But yeah, so thank you about that. And about my story, I was born and raised in Mexico, in the northeast part of Mexico. So very high altitude mountain. It's very desert-like. So it's hot during the summer, hot during the spring. I mean, it's basically hot year round.
Where specifically?
Monclova, Coahuila.
Oh.
I was born in Monclova, Coahuila, a city about 3 hours south of the border with Laredo and Eagle Pass, Texas. So that's my upbringing. The city where I'm from, it is said that it had the biggest metallurgic plant or a factory in all of America, the continent, except for the U.S. So the biggest kind of steel mills are in Pittsburgh, that I know, or Ohio, somewhere in there. And then outside of the U.S., my hometown had the biggest steel mill of the whole continent.
Wow.
So that's the story about my hometown. And then at 21, I was visiting my girlfriend, who is now my wife, Joanna. Some of you might know her. I was visiting her in Virginia, and for the holidays. And the holidays did the magic, and we decided that I wasn't going to go back to Mexico, and that we were gonna get married. So I called my parents, and they didn't like the news, but love was stronger than anything else.
Cool. So and shout out, you just had your anniversary.
Yeah, we did. We celebrated 25 years of
Congratulations.
marriage. Yeah.
He barely looks like 35. You got married when you were 10.
Yeah, so I'm a very lucky guy, that to have a life partner that loves me so much, and I mean it's a that's another story. That's a story for another podcast on the road. So yeah, we got married in January 2001. At that time, I was almost done with college in Mexico, so I leave everything in Mexico. My family, of course, no one was happy, and I start my life here in the U.S. with Joanna. Started couldn't get a job because I didn't have documentation. I was here legally and had to wait until the process, right? So I went through the whole process of applying for residency and eventually citizenship. In the meantime, as I was getting my documents and permit to work, I started working. And then eventually, pay my way out through school full time. I was working full time in a full time school in Virginia. By the time I graduated, we had our first son, my son Sebastian, in 2007. So that was a very memorable time. It was really hot when I graduated, and my son was born in that same week. And I remember it as such because Joanna had just given birth on a Sunday or Saturday or something like that, on Tuesday actually, and my graduation was on Sunday, and it was just hot and humid, typical Virginia.
Yeah. Northern Virginia.
West Central Virginia, Harrisonburg.
Harrisonburg, yeah. Okay.
So I went to JMU, James Madison, and ended up.
Great school.
Yeah, it's a huge school now, and graduated from Eastern Mennonite University.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I finished my school. My professional career has been mostly in human resources. Mm-hmm. I started from the bottom. Now we're here. I don't know if you need to cut that out because of Drake. It's Drake, right? Or somebody. So yeah, I mean, I started working my way up in HR from an assistant, and now I'm working for a janitorial company here in San Diego. Been on and off of the profession. Somewhere in the middle, we moved to San Diego, and again but now this time it's Joanna and our son, who was 2.5, and myself. We decided to leave everything in Virginia and move to San Diego. Better city, better weather. And again, San Diego did its magic. We came to visit a couple of times. We fell in love with the city and said, let's go to San Diego. Yeah. So we moved here. I had a job for a little bit of time, human resources. And I lost the contract. There was a contract job. So I lost the contract, and I'm still new to San Diego. I'm driving, the highway, take a different exit to go to where we were living, and I'm passing by where my restaurant used to be, and there's a sign that says for rent. And I turn around. I'm still thinking, what am I going to tell Joanna? I don't have a job. What am I going to say?
That's the worst feeling.
It is the worst feeling.
No kids and no job.
The whole time I was driving, no music, and I'm a music guy. I love music. Yeah. Music moves me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm driving, trying to think, what am I going to say?
Just be in your thoughts.
I did.
Yeah.
No music. Music wasn't doing the trick.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No music, man. I was just driving. I think it was the first time that I lost a job.
Yeah.
And every time it was just kind of like, I quit because I was moving or whatever. Yeah. Or I had something else lined up. And so I see the sign for rent. I turn around, write the number, call the whatever number, and say, hey, I'm interested in your place for, what do you want to do? A restaurant. He tells me a whole story that we can talk about later. And I'm like, well, I want to do it. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. All right, come back on Monday. So that was on a Thursday or Friday. I go home. And I told Joanna, I have good news and bad news. Which ones you want? Wait, what? I said, I have good news and bad news. Yeah, I heard that, but what? I'm like, well, I lost my job, but that restaurant that we've been talking about? And she said, no, go back. So, I had to tell her the bad news. And then the good news to me is I have a plan.
Yeah.
I never
next steps.
I have the next steps.
Yeah.
I know how we're gonna take care of our family. Yeah. And so we started the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever done restaurants before?
I had never worked in a restaurant, never managed a restaurant.
You just like to cook?
I love to cook. That's another passion of me. Of mine.
Man.
So I love to cook, and all of my family and friends have.
I can vouch for it, by the way. It's fantastic.
I can't yet, but maybe after this.
So, right now, everybody wants me to cook for the. So yeah, I mean, family and friends kept in trying to motivate me to start a restaurant because I've been cooking for a long time, and I love having people over and, catering and parties and stuff. So, that's my thing. I started a restaurant. My wife, Joe and I, we ran it and managed it for 13 years. I started in the kitchen, built the systems for the front of the house, worked my way out of the kitchen to manage the front of the house and eventually managing the whole restaurant. And then COVID happened. So our 10-year anniversary was supposed to be big. COVID, everyone knows COVID happened. And so it was a big hit for the restaurants, especially mom and pops. We closed for just 1 week. And that was just to kind of regroup and think about what to do.
Yeah.
So what we did was to rebrand the restaurant. I wrote a new menu and we opened within a week, which was we had to do to go.
Yeah.
And eventually, we started working into opening the doors for a sit down and all that. But it stayed within that kind of concept that I had to, pivot and start over again. So 10 years, we get taken down, Uchimata taken down, and we had to get up again and build it. We did it for 3 years. But that was a time when I said, I need to do something different. I had always wanted, I'm a life learner. And I'm always learning. I always like to learn. Yeah. So I went back to school and enrolled in the master's degree program, finished my degree, and I started looking for a job. So, I graduated, started looking for a job, and I got back into human resources. Yeah. And once we knew we were good and set with that, then we decided to sell the restaurant. Whoa. And we sold it. And then I've been finding more time in life now with a nice full-time job, but more time for family and to pursue some other interests that I have, and that brought me to enroll in Elena because our daughter is what is it, 6?
Superstar.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, she's awesome.
We enrolled her at Adayama because she was going into middle school, and we wanted her to have something to be doing for the rest of the school, her school years, right? And I remember just coming the first time, and every one of the children's class, teachers that come, every time that I would come, and they would invite me. You invited me, and I'm like, yes, I will. But I'm just trying to put some things in place, and eventually say, you know what, that's never gonna happen. Yeah, let's dive in head first, and I decided to take a plunge and join the other Yama family, and here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are, man, and he's killing it. Killing it, man. Already competed, had a tournament.
I competed, yeah.
It takes a lot of bravery, man. It takes a lot of bravery to do that. It's hard. People don't understand until they walk out there, like the psychological and physical effects of that stress and everything that happens to you. It hits me really hard. It is never. There was one point where I was like, this is so bad. I just have to do it so many times that I get over it. And it's never happened, man.
All right.
It's just miserable every time. For me, not everybody's that way, but for me, it's miserable every time. I'm in my head, 2 weeks out. I'm adrenaline dumping, waking up in the middle of the night, sweating and freaking out about it. So, it's hard, man. It's hard what you go through. So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for repping us. Yeah. Going out there and doing what you did.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Being a part of this. Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was a shock, like you say.
Yeah.
And like you say, the first 5 days after the competition, I kept playing the fights in my head.
Over
and thinking, what could I have done better? What could I have done better? I kept sharing with Juan and with texting.
That's when we started talking more. Yeah.
But I say, you know what? The only way I'm gonna get all this out is at the gym.
Yeah.
So it was like back to the gym on Sunday after competition.
Literally. And before we move on, one thing I did want to kind of, if you could share with us too, it seemed like, and we kind of talked about it, right? Like restarting all over, right? A little bit before while we were in the class earlier. The pattern that I see is like, you're really aware of like either sensing the pressure, right? When you notice like, hey, it's not working anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a critical skill in jiu-jitsu when you're like, all right, this choke's not working anymore, right? But even like just reacting to the pressure, like I noticed like in your life, like even when you moved from Mexico, like, obviously something made you like want to come, whether it's positive pressure, like coming with Joanna, or like that, like, hey, like I need to do something. Like, what do you think helped you have that mindset, like to like pivot? Because people don't pivot a lot. People stay stuck and they just get smashed in life, and then that's the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've heard it all, right? COVID. That's all they say. Hey, what happened to your restaurant? Or what happened? COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave up, you know? So what do you think, like, was it something like from your childhood that kind of molded that? Like, was it something you picked up along the way? Like,
it was definitely a combination of my upbringing at home. I mean, in Mexico, we went through a couple of economic kind of downfalls, right? And everyone in my family was like that, where everyone pivoted. And so I remember it was probably 94, the change of presidency, January 1st, the Mexican peso just plummeted. And I was always very cognizant of the conversations going around. So I hear my aunts, my uncles, or everyone talking about it. And so when my mom and her sisters, they started a business. In the worst time of economy, they started a business to help support, the family, right? So to start, that was kind of like everything, what I saw every time. My family, my uncles having a profession, but my aunts always having an entrepreneurial mind to kind of be ready, always ready. They were always ready to pivot, no matter what happened. But then in school, I think what happens to a lot of us is I got bullied, and I didn't like it, so I had to do something. And I got, there was a couple of stages where I had to learn to defend myself, because the pressure was, I'm getting tired of getting like beat up. And it wasn't just
kids go hard.
Oh, they were hard, man. They were no, it was bad. It was bad in third grade. About 10 kids got me in the bathroom, held my legs, my legs, my arms, and started punching me like a freaking punch bag. If it's not for a sixth grade kid, who I remember, he comes in and starts kicking everyone. Shout out sixth grade kid. And it was just what I remember not being able to grasp my breath, man. Yeah. And after, I go home. My mom is like, what happened? I got my ass kicked. And so my mom is like, you come home like that again, I'm going to kick your ass again. Right? So, I mean, you have to censor all that.
It's okay. We're not monetized yet.
So something happened, and I started just, defending myself, and I started going after each one of those kids.
Raw. No training.
No training. Just nature, man. Just nature. And so that's part of that part of the pressure. Eventually, everyone's understood, don't mess with us. And, I had a nice ride through the rest of my school years. But then I was always on sports. So playing football, playing basketball, I was always the biggest kid. So I was the center of like, okay, attack him, go for the big guy, attack the big guy, put pressure, literal pressure on basketball on the big guy. And amongst my upbringing with home and what was happening at school and outside of school, my dad always, every time we were in the car, he was always, telling me, this is happening, then you need to be ready for that. Wow. This is happening, you need to be ready for that. Yeah. Now, needless to say, my dad wasn't at home a lot because he was working a lot. So anytime that I had a chance to be with my dad, I was all ears. Yeah. And so, going through all that helped me push through the pressure. Yeah. Eventually, I become a teenager, 17 years old, maybe 18. I was already driving, but I started going out, with my parents' permission. And I remember my first dance, a quinceañera. I go out, and my dad is like, I don't care when you come home, but you need to get home safe. Yeah. Don't drive if you're drinking. I wasn't drinking. I was all about sports. But I don't care what time you come home. I'm going to wake you up at 6 a.m. and you're going to wash your mom's car and my car. And then you're going to clean. You see all that, the yard in the front. El cochinero. Well, and it wasn't our cochinero. It was an empty lot. So all the weeds and all the stuff. And he's like, you're going to clean about 30 by 50 by 30. So I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I got home at 3 a.m. I remember that day, and I woke, 6 a.m. Get up, let's go. Okay, there's not another thing to do, but to do it. Yeah. And he's like, from now on, I don't care what time you come, but you know the rules. You come home after, Saturday or Sunday, you're gonna make sure the cars are clean. You're gonna go get the barbacoa, the jugo, the periódico, the newspaper. And then after that, you can take a break, but then you're gonna go out and clean. Yeah. And I remember it was always hot, really hot. So there I am in the middle of hot weather with the talache. What do you call it in the well, not the rake? Huh? The rake? No, the one with the two the one where you make holes. The one
sledgehammer?
Not the sledgehammer, the one with the pointy thing to make holes in the ground.
Oh, that like pickaxe.
A picket, right? A pico, yeah. So I was out there with the picket, taking weeds out, no gloves, bare hands, taking weeds out and cleaning the, yeah.
Yeah. And no, I'm glad I asked, because we like to give people like that, like takeaways, right? And one thing that kind of like is showing me is like that people are always watching, whether it's kids, like you as a kid, like listening, and like people react to how you react, right? So if your environment was like, your aunts being, your tias and tios being like, oh man, like what are we gonna do, and scared, that's how you would have grown up, like tense, you know what I mean, and afraid, and like, or even your dad like not showing you what discipline is, because that's discipline. Is like, hey, you can show up at 4:30, but at 5 you're gonna be working outside. So it really like kind of, and it now I understand even more the madness of like the discipline that you have, which is something I know we'll share later, right? Because if you had that discipline literally since you were young,
that's how I gained the discipline. Yeah, coming up in Mexico, and I just took that throughout life. When my son was born, it was time for me to take on and make sure that Joanna would rest, and it was time for her to hang out and party with her friends. So it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I was getting up at 6 a.m., with the bottle of milk, because my son was hungry at 5 a.m. So I was there, so that to make sure that Joanna would rest. And eventually, she had to do the mom's milk part, but at that point she was rested, and I was just doing what I had to do. You had to do what you have to do. Discipline.
Which is a hard skill to learn, right? To like put your head down and work.
Yeah, you can't teach it. Like, well, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. You can teach discipline, but you need resilience to stick through it, and you can't teach resilience. I think like resilience is something that most people have or don't have. You know what I mean? And to be disciplined, like what we've been talking about before, like it's funny. I'm hearing so many people now talking about like, the struggles of getting in and like keeping themselves here on the mats and stuff like that, when it's not as fun as it was when you first came in, and that's where like the discipline and resilience has to come in, and you have to push yourself over the hump to make yourself come in, and that's what like Oz has embedded in him.
Yeah. We'll keep the journey going then. So now you're here. You right when you joined. We're kind of time traveling, so thank you guys. You guys can always rewind if you're like, where are these guys going? I have to ask for the viewers at home. You went to Chopped.
I was a competitor in Chopped.
How was that?
Awesome.
What? tell us about that.
One season on Chopped and 2 seasons on Cutthroat Kitchen.
Oh, my mom. She didn't know about that one. She was gonna freak out.
So
okay.
Cutthroat Kitchen with Alton Brown, and Chop with what's his name? I forget his name.
I know the Chop.
Yeah. So, but and so one episode of Chopped, and it was awesome. It was the first time around with Cutthroat Kitchen. Of course, like everything new, like the first competition, at the finals in Del Mar. I didn't know what to expect. Everything was new to me. I mean, you see cameras everywhere. So my mom was really taken by the whole production process. By then I was already doing a lot of videos in the restaurant. So I was really curious just to learn and understand everything behind the scenes. And then of course the competition part. I thought I was doing a good job. Obviously I didn't in the first episode. I went too hard, too quick, too hard, or too hard, too quick. Yeah. In Cutthroat Kitchen, you use money that they give you to bid on
ingredients, right?
not necessarily on the ingredients, on the sabotage.
Oh, damn, that's cutthroat.
Yeah, it's cutthroat. So
so you spent too much too early.
Not that I spent too much too early. I don't think the producers liked it. Because the host was like, Jeff Oz, are you sure you want to bid that much? I'm like, yeah. And okay, that's your call. I'm like, yeah, I was all about like, let's take these people down. Let's cut them early and, let's get them out. Yeah. So there I am. I give everyone their sabotage, and I'm cooking with my normal chicken or my normal kind of setup. And they call a second sabotage, which I don't remember they used to do. So they call for another bidding, and there I am bidding. But at this time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make them bid so they can lose their money, and then I'll back down. So I did that. The other guy gets one of the guys wins the bid, and they send me to a adult size baby chair with kids cooking utensils.
Wow.
Not only that, I had to take on the other person's ingredients, which was canned chicken, and we were supposed to make chicken fingers. So the round finishes, I managed to make the chicken fingers, and the judge comes out, but the judges don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So they're just literally judging what you cook. They don't know how you cooked it. All they see is, So what I think was messed up is number one, you don't burn food on a competition. I mean, you actually don't burn food and serve it to anybody.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. So in competition, they take it seriously. And another contestant burned the chicken wings or something like that, or the fingers that they use with the chicken wing meat. And another one was a lot of mess, and you can hear and see all the judging. And then the judge comes to my table and, oh, it's good, but not so good. Oh, it's got this. We could use a little bit more of that. That was Chef Jet Tila. I do not like Chef Jet Tila, and that can be made public.
Come to the gym.
It was a messed up voting.
Come to the gym.
Yeah, so he voted me out, and that was on the first round.
Yeah.
Wow. However, if you go back and watch the show, more than half of the airtime of the show, they kept passing me. Chef Oz, me cooking, me doing that, and I threw a joke. And that came out so good and naturally. The chef that put me on the baby chair said, "Who's the baby now?" And I'm from up there just cooking, "Your mom." So Alton Brown gets all upset. I guess I don't know if he was acting or for real. Nobody makes mama jokes in my kitchen. You're fine. I don't know, $1,000 or $500 or something like that. I'm like, okay. So I give him the money, and that was before the round ended.
Wow.
Yeah. So they invited me a second time as a consolation kind of thing, where they wanted all chefs that had not won for a Halloween special.
Oh.
And this time I played it differently. I was playing to cut through other people's throats, right? To cut other people's throats, but I was too nice and too much of a gentleman. Which is an awesome thing to do outside of competitions and stuff,
kitchen, man.
right? But this contestant, she was a former cop from Chicago, which I just went over my head, and a single mom, again, went over my head. And at the end of the competition, you have to watch it. I basically gave her the win without knowing until I got voted out, because the detail was I was cooking and telling her how to put the food together.
Yeah.
She was the one in control of how to put the food together once I had cooked it. So, and we did her dish first and my dish later. Again, the judge doesn't know.
Right.
He's tasting her dish, which I basically cooked and told her how to put together. Oh, it's awesome. Perfect pasta, perfect this. And then my dish, she made a mess. She didn't put enough sauce, whatever.
Cutthroat, right?
Yeah, so I got cutthroat.
See?
And for Chop, you'll have to watch it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I can't wait.
And what are like some of the biggest takeaways that you apply onto like your jiu-jitsu or onto the mat? Like, how did that help you or translate? Even in tournaments or even just
so in the first cutthroat kitchen, right? Like jiu-jitsu, don't go too hard too quick. Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Pace yourself. And the second one, I was too nice. You can't be nice in I mean, you can be nice, right? Like take care of each other, but you can't be
in a competition.
Yeah, in a competition, you can't be too nice.
Yeah.
Which is something that I'm still learning.
Yes.
I have I think I enrolled in a yoga teacher program. So in yoga, like medicine, they teach you to not do harm unto others. And so for years I've been practicing this, not hippie stuff, but just taking care of others, looking after others, and basically not hurt people, right? So now I'm in a sport where it's a kid. I mean, you're learning how to break an arm without doing it, in practice when we're here. But sometimes as you realize one of the first classes, right? You're like, don't be too nice. I'm like, bro, I'm trying.
Or maybe you could adjust the mindset and it's like, you're helping them by showing them what they need to work on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
get that arm bar, and then they'll know, dang, I need to work on my arm bar defense.
Yeah. So I think that's a takeaway and similarities.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nice. Got a question?
No.
So now, any martial arts before Jiu-Jitsu?
I did about a year back in '86 of karate.
Oh.
Yeah, I really don't remember why I didn't stick it out. I don't know. I don't remember if that was a time when, the economy was not good. But I don't know what happened, but I know I did karate for 1 year. It was tough. One thing about me is I am lazy, and the discipline comes to help big time because I mean,
that's surprising to hear, Oz, because you are consistent, man. You are consistent, man.
Yeah.
Not just here. That's why I was gonna add. Like, we could segue into that because you guys got to follow him. Where can we follow you on Instagram?
Coach Osvaldo MX.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll put it up too, and we'll link it on the episode show notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's consistency in jiu-jitsu, consistency at the gym.
Yeah.
And then consistency also like diet and your workout. Like, you have a plan.
Yeah.
So that's good because I'm super lazy.
Mm-hmm.
How we can kind of start segueing into that, because I know that's something you want to talk about with discipline and
mindset. I was going to
mindset.
talk to you about your definitions of lazy, man.
Yeah.
No, man.
You two are not.
Okay. But that's where it matters, right? That's where it's like we can be honest and say, like, I'm lazy in the sense like I'd rather chill, but knowing that stuff has to get done.
Yeah.
So like, we were talking a little bit like the mindset. Like, how do you do that, especially knowing that you're not disciplined?
I am disciplined.
Oh, I see. Sorry,
right?
That you are lazy.
I am lazy, and I don't know if it's the genes, or I don't know what it is. But before I can remember anything of my childhood, my parents said, "You always loved just being home. You're a homebody." And I'm like, okay, I started hearing about the stories, and it is true. I look back and I am a homebody, but I also love sports. I love to practice sports. I love going to the gym, but before I get to the gym, it's like, yeah,
internal dialogue.
Yeah. And, I think it happens to a lot of people. You work, you're at work, you get home, you want to be home. I don't know, but it happens to me.
Yeah.
I want to be home. I want to chill, shower, just, sit down and relax, play my guitar, have a conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also love coming to jiu-jitsu,
yeah.
And then I'm like, I got to go to the gym, and then I got to go home and just kind of quick, clean real quick, and then, go to jiu-jitsu, and I'm not getting home until, like 8 o'clock or whatever. So it's like, oh man, but you know what? I'm committed to it.
Yeah.
I'm committed. So remember when my dad said, I don't care what time you're coming home, you're still getting up at 6 a.m. and cleaning the cars. I think that was the one part that really started helping. Yeah. That's the most I can remember. Before that, my dad was very much, very, very strict, almost military.
Really?
Where I had to, hey, on the weekends, on Saturday, because in Mexico, they work 6 days a week. So my dad would leave around 8 o'clock, and by the time I get home, all windows better be clean. And I knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
Before I could go out and hang out with my friends.
Yeah, don't even think.
Yeah. So the discipline was built on structure, I guess.
Yeah. Structure.
And then you like it too because you like check off things off your structure, and you're addicted to jiu-jitsu, so that helps.
I am. It is funny, but I am. Yeah. Nice. And that's how discipline works, I think.
Yeah.
I'm committed. I made a commitment, and that's why I'm here. And besides liking it, which is I think is a what do you call it when you take medicine? The side effect. Yeah. The side effect, which I love, is that I enjoy jiu-jitsu. I love going to the gym, right? Just kind of, working out and getting fitter, getting healthier. But it's the compromise in the commitment to doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a third thing in there that I think is important. And that's like, for me, when I see you walk in, Oz, I'm like, yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, Oz is here. And I know everybody, when they see you walk in the doors, feeling the same way.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and like, that's something that I take a lot of pride in, is that there's some bonds that are really forming here, some really strong bonds that are forming here. Yeah. And not that I'm the one facilitating it, but that we, by opening Arayama, are the ones that got the connections to happen.
Yeah,
It's the people.
And yeah. And then you just love the people, you know, and like that keeps you drawn in, you know, keeps you wanting to come back. Like I'll call out AJ right now. I get messages from AJ.
El guapo.
You know, like, yeah.
Oh, guapo.
El guapo.
Yes. I get messages from AJ probably twice a month, man. I feel like I'm letting you down because I'm not here. I'm out, you know, I'm different. I'm playing. No, man, we miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you, but you're not letting anybody down, you know? And I feel like that's what, you know, a lot of people feel, whether they're voicing it or not, is like, if I'm not in there, if I see a picture that Juan was in there, dang, I could have been in there working with Juan, you know, like I could have been in there helping him, working together. And then like, I love listening to Juan talking to Jason, like, hey, what do you need to work on, man? You know, let's do it. Let's get to it. And at the end of tonight's class, Jason walked up to you and was like, hey, Oz, can I try something on you? You're like, of course, man. What do you want to do?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it, you know? And I watch those things happen, man. And I just get filled with so much pride and excitement to see that, because this is a cool group of people, man.
Yeah.
It's a cool group of people. And 1 + 1 with the right people equals 3, you know? And that's what we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to describe and quantify that, but it really is special.
It is a big reason why I come back.
Yeah.
It's the people, you know, and like Juan reaches out all the time, and you know, we stay in touch on social media.
Yeah.
Even if we don't see each other, because you usually come in the morning, and I come at night.
Yeah, it's the multiverse.
Yeah, that's right.
It is a multiverse.
And you guys are tight. Yeah. You get that's true. I
Yeah, see
that.
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah,
Did you guys do the trifecta on the same day?
No.
You didn't even do the
No, we
trifecta
just-
on the
yeah.
same day.
No. I have to plan ahead of time so I can take off from work. Yeah.
Plan it out more.
Yes, I did.
It's that hashtag Orange Crush, you know, and that's why I wanted to do this, because you know, like the Marvel multiverse, we got the Arayama multiverse.
Yes,
like
we
that.
do.
Like, we wouldn't have gotten to know each other if we weren't like that, like talking and everything. That's how I get Oz, the pressure cooker, and then we got El Guapo, El Scott, the Dark Knight, Tyson,
The band.
the band,
The band.
everyone. AKA Marty, no, Professor Marty,
AKA.
But no, and that's why. So, one thing I'm curious is like how, because the energy, right? And that's one thing that I try to like always at least bring, right? Like, hey, we're blessed to be able to do this. I tell myself like, hey, you get to do this.
You get to do it.
Especially when it's, hey, I get to wash these bottles for this baby, right? I get to go to work, right?
Yeah.
So like, what is something that even like the self-talk or the mindset that helps you have that energy? Because, you know, even, and it's not like you're like cheerleader, but you know, you are like a positive vibe and a presence. So like, what helps you get through, especially because you're doing a lot all day, you know?
It's my passion for my family. I do it all for my family. I want to be a better dad, a better husband. I want to be healthy so that I can be there for them.
Yeah.
So I get to do things with them.
Yeah.
And so every day I don't even question it anymore. It's just, I know that everything that I'm doing is for my family.
Yes. Nice. Oh yeah, you're getting famous. Even my cousin, he goes to the same gym as you do.
Oh yeah.
And I told him about you, and then he'll be like, "Dude, I saw your friend. I saw."
Oh, nice.
I'm like, "Go say what's up," and he's like, "No, I'm too shy."
Oh no, tell him to go. Tell him they come and say hi,
You're
man.
famous,
You know.
bro, I'm telling you, because he goes right there. But no, yeah. So like, what would you say to someone who, you know, because obviously, like someone who either like doesn't have a family, right? Single guys who are like in a slump, right? Or someone who like is struggling to just kind of get moving, and because once the hardest part is kind of starting, right? Once you're like in the routine, and you like you said, it's just, hey, it becomes second nature. You already have the endorphins, your brain knows to go get them. But like, what about for someone who's just like stuck?
Well, I'm big into philosophy, right? And I think that's where I draw some of the ideas that I play in my head without even knowing. So there's two that I heard again lately. One is play the tape out. Right? Do you like how it ends?
Oh,
Do you like how the tape ends?
yeah.
And if you don't like it, I think that would like, do something. But you have to play these words in your mind. First play the tape out. What's going to happen if I don't get up and work out?
Mm-hmm.
Do I like the outcome? A week, a month, 2 years on the road?
Dang.
And that's something that I saw. I mean, and that's something that's in my mind for, right now, my family is my motivation number one. But before then, growing up where I'm from, there weren't a lot of fit dads.
Yep, that's true.
I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And the thing that I also heard is like, oh, you get married and you get, you get gordo en la panza and it's part of the culture. You get married and your wife cooks for you and you go to work and you get home and drink las cheves and party and la fiesta and everything. But they never talked about.
Sound nice.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun, right? But they didn't talk about fitness or working out and stuff like that, except for a few, 1 out of 10. You could easily say that. And I played that tape out and I'm like, I don't want that. Yeah. And first and most when I was younger without any kids. And of course I wanted to be a better husband at that point, and then the other one is, it is very philosophical. Ask yourself, in solitude, who am I? Who am I? And find yourself. Because those questions, eventually your brain will start answering that. However, philosophically, metaphorically, you want to see it, but just ask the question, who am I?
And same thing, like, do you like what the answer is?
Exactly. If you don't like, do you like the answer? And if you don't like it, then do something about it.
Yeah.
And it's and a very kind of rough one, philosophical, but very kind of raw. Is what's his name? The one who says, "Who cares? Work harder."
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, who cares?
Yeah.
But that's something that you have to be okay with yourself and tell yourself.
Yeah. Cameron Haynes, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Work harder.
Yeah.
And people care, obviously. I mean, hopefully you have somebody that cares. But eventually, no one's gonna make you go to the gym. No one's gonna make you get a better job if you don't like your job. No one's gonna make you come to jiu-jitsu class. The only person that can do that is yourself.
Well, man.
I don't know.
That's why I ask these questions. I'm selfish. I play it later when it's, when it's 4:30 and I'm like,
it's hard.
Wake up. I put,
talk yourself.
I pull up, I pull up Coach Osvaldo MX. No, because they help. They help the even his Instagram. Like seeing the videos and all that. Yeah. And that's why I asked, and that's why I started this podcast, because I'm selfish and I want to learn about everyone's stories.
There you go.
Because I'm lazy, I'll tell you guys. But no, I think what you said too, like people, as humans, we don't like to be uncomfortable, and those are like some uncomfortable questions to like ask, right? And it's kind of what Joel talked. It's interesting because you're gonna see a lot of patterns, right? With the guests that we bring in, right? Like there's always like something that kind of aligns the discipline, right? And that was like what Joel was saying, and then even Cynthia, like, hey, like she didn't like something, so she did something about it, right? But like Joel was saying too, like asking himself those questions, like, how can I adjust, right? And he didn't just stay in the darkness, and it's kind of like the same thing there. Like you have to be obviously aware that you're there, but then also asking yourself those questions, and then at the end of the day, like if you stay there, it's more on you than if you don't do nothing, right?
Agreed.
And then that's the power of like your why. And I think if you want to be disciplined, you have to like remember what your why is. Do you sense like that a lot? Like when people come into the gym and it's just about like trying to get skinny or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You definitely meet every new member and you create like I think this guy's motivated by this. I think this guy's motivated by this. And are those necessarily healthy motivations? I'm not really sure. And you hope that it will shift, as they're in here, they'll get connected with the people and then they will prioritize the relationships with the people that they have here over some of those other kind of not so healthy objectives and outcomes that they're chasing, like getting fit or being able to choke people out at a bar or something like that. then it'll just be more about like the exploration of yourself and growing as a person and growing your community with people. Like I said in the last one, like it's a powerful thing when you know that there's a group of people that you could call up at 3 a.m. and be like, hey, I'm in a situation, can you help me out? And you feel that there's going to be like, all right, send me the address. That's going to be the response. Not like, oh, what are you doing? Call me.
Send me your location.
Yeah. Where are you at? I'm going to be there in 10 minutes, and then I think that becomes the priority for a lot of people. But that was a good segue because this whole time I was thinking like a question formulated in my mind, which I was like, ooh, I can't wait to ask Oz this one. But from your perspective, Oz, what is it that a person who walks in here and tries it out and does this for a little bit of time, what's going to make them quit?
What's going to make them quit?
Yeah.
I think being uncomfortable due to a neck being cranked or kind of dislocating a finger or pulling a back muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think some of us can push through that. I'm speaking out of experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been uncomfortable with my body because of what, the reasons that I just named, amongst others, but I never thought about quitting.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would and will because like, I don't want to hurt my fingers. I don't want to break this. I don't want to break that. But it is, I think by talking to people, which is something you just mentioned, and creating those relationships, you learn that that's not going to happen all the time.
Right.
Those are things that happen because you were either moving too fast or you were rolling with someone who moves too fast.
And you were.
Right. And obviously you don't know how to control your body. You don't know what you just learning how to do certain moves that you probably never done in your life. And then the hurting happens. Right. And so it wasn't, again, I never thought about quitting. Right. I told you I'm doing this for life.
He was literally, he was literally, that's why we connected even more, because he was at the gym. He beat me because when I lost Jiu-Jitsu World League, I was there like maybe like 24 hours later. I was at the gym already, like at midnight when I got off work.
Yeah.
This clown was there like 12 hours later. Like, he beat me. You did good.
Yeah.
And that's where like we bonded, right? Because I was like, hey man, like you got this. Keep it up. Because again, it's that pivot, right? That was a pivotal moment where it was like, I hate jiu-jitsu.
I like what you did there. Pivotal moment.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, thank you. That was a pivotal moment.
He had it written down.
I know. Yeah, no. I was like, it was a crucial part of your timeline, right? Where you could have decided like, that sucked.
Yeah.
In front of thousands of people at Del Mar Fair, right?
Yeah.
My whole family was there. But it's like you literally used it as fuel. So what was that self-talk like those hours between? Because I've been there, but I want to hear your perspective because you're on the path back, man.
Yeah.
When are you competing?
Whenever happens in the summer, June, July. I don't know when it happens. Yeah.
So how do you get back on the path?
I'm already back on the path.
No, I know. Like how do you, right after, like what was that mental, those hours like? Where you were like,
I think the part that sucked was just literally losing.
Yeah.
Not because what I was told by Coach Rogero is that I was winning by points the whole round.
Yeah.
And I didn't lose the first battle until the last 10 seconds when I started getting choked. And, at the same time, they're yelling at me, 4 seconds left. I tried to push the choke and the guy just got a better choke. And I felt it. And I remember Professor Marty saying, if you pass out, you can't compete anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pass out. So I tap. And so it sucked it really bothered me knowing that I was winning and I lost it at the last second. And then something about me, and I don't know if it's genes or it's on some people, some behavioral traits that we're born with. I don't like, if I know I could have done better, I'm going to go after it.
Yeah.
And that's Kaizen. A what do you call it? A philosophy, a Japanese philosophy of doing better. We can do something better every day. And I learned it at a chicken manufacturing company when studying for black belt, and not black belt jiu-jitsu, but manufacturing.
Yeah.
And they teach about Kaizen. It's a big part of engineering and processes and stuff like that, where you every day, if you find a way to do a process better, you do it, or you get the team together and whatever. So I applied that as a personal thing. Later to find out, it started as a personal kind of philosophy in Japan, and then it moved on to manufacturing and company processes.
That's awesome.
So I don't like to quit. I don't remember when I have quit. I like to do better. If I mess up, it bugs me a lot, and I want to improve. I think that was the mental process. I beat myself to it. Like, Marty was telling me, though, hey, brother, it sucks. I know,
we're always
it worked harder on ourselves.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of tournaments, man. I've been, 17 years in doing this. I started, competing in tournaments within 4 months of being a white belt. And I lost, man, and everybody says that you lose a lot more than you win. Which makes the wins, so enjoyable. I wish everybody had the story of the Jason who, gets a gold medal at his first tournament, or a Juan who gets silver then gold in his next tournament. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those are great stories, but I'm constantly reminding myself, like I was thinking about it today while we were driving here, like, would I want that story, or is my story, the better story, which is that, like, it takes me time to build myself up to get to that point, whether, I don't know, imposter syndrome that I have to work myself out of, or whatever it is, or just like catching up to the speed and the scale and the technical acumen of the people that I compete against at those levels. It just takes me time mentally to get there, but I eventually do at every belt. I always do, and so yeah, trust in that, keep competing. Trust in yourself. I do want to go back really quick to that question that I asked you about what make a person quit. The reason I'm asking you that, and I hope my buddy Fee watches this, because I've been talking to him. He's a good friend of mine from high school. His son just joined, and Fee is coming tomorrow to the seminar. It's going to be his first class. It's going to be the seminar tomorrow. So I'm excited for him to do that. And as we were talking, I told him, and this isn't just for Fee. This is for anybody. The approach that I want him to take is that he does not accept a role with anyone unless he comes directly to me and I give him the blessing to go roll with that person. And even I want him to, like, wait 2 weeks minimum of doing classes before he actually even rolls. Like, does a free independent roll with a Juan or an Oz or anything like that. Because I always thought about coming up while I was at another owner's school. I was a student. I was a member of another school. I was always asking myself, am I hurting my coach's business? And I'm not asking anybody to think about me in the same way, but this is just the way that I thought about it. Am I costing him business because I'm being a jerk to the new people that come in here? Because I'm taking advantage of them, because I'm throwing them around, and because you know what I mean? Like, it's that old, you see the memes on Instagram all the time, taking advantage of the trial class guy. You know what I mean? Right? Like, come in and now some of them deserve it, right? Because you get some guys that come in here and they're aggro and they're overly confident, and checking them is a good and fun thing to do. But for the most part, you have people that come in here who are very humble, and like, hurting them is not something that that I want to happen, not just as a business owner, but as a person who cares about the experience that people are going to have when they come in here. So anyway, I wanted to share that. I told Fee that for anybody who sees Fee in here, training with him, just know if he turns you down, it's because I told him to turn everybody down until a few weeks in. Yeah. If anybody, exactly. And that goes for anybody, for new members. If you're watching this and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about joining that place out of Yama Jiu-Jitsu, and you happen to click on this video and you hear me talking about that, just know it's okay to say no. Yeah. It's okay to say no. I just rolled. I just had a tough one. I don't need another tough one right now. Every roll doesn't have to be a tough one. There was a guy that I used to train with at Studio 540. His name was Ryan, and he was a purple belt when I met him. And all he was doing was working out and doing jiu-jitsu all day long. And I used to walk up to him and be like, man, Ryan, how are you doing this?
Wow.
And he was like, you know what? I come to jiu-jitsu, I do the drills, I only flow roll. I will not roll full speed with anybody. And his explanation was because this is about longevity. Like I don't plan to compete. I don't need to do those things. So that means I progress slower in my belts. I'm not on race with anybody, like this is my own thing. I don't care. And I think about my body right now. I'll stop talking because I know I've been rambling, but like I'm dealing with a bunch of injuries, and I'm constantly, I'm constantly in having this internal dialogue of roll, don't roll, roll, don't roll. Because I want you guys to have someone who can push you guys and challenge you in different ways. But then I end up walking out of here,
not today with these pillows.
Yeah, not today with these pillows. Thank you, Oz, man. This is feeling great, man. I'm like, I'm like, I got another 2.5 hours.
Let's go.
Yeah. Getting a little antsy over there.
We'll need another pillow.
Yeah, it's good on this side. Anyway, so where was I going with all that? Take care of yourself first. Prioritize your health. Think of it in terms of the long game and not the short game.
Yeah, and it helps to be aware of what can make you quit.
Yeah.
Like how, like that's why it's helpful to ask like that. Like,
yeah.
And how long have you been training now, Oz? It's been what, 4 months, 5 months?
Probably 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Flies.
Yeah, I know.
Flies, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like you're saying, take care of your body, know how to say no.
Yep.
If you don't feel comfortable with somebody, don't roll. Learn to flow roll. I think is very important. And it's fun too to flow roll, because that will prevent you from getting injured and eventually wanting to quit. And even if you don't get injured, but you roll with somebody who's very aggro, that might kind of turn you off, from like, oh, is everybody like that? Well, no, not everybody's like that. There's probably, again, 1 in 10 that you will encounter like that, especially as a newbie. And just say no for next time. Learn. Okay, next time say no. Let me roll with this. Somebody else, and go talk to somebody who looks friendly like Juan.
I got that mean face.
Yeah, no, and Juan, Ben, they're all very safe to roll. I mean, I don't know. I want to feel that I'm safe to roll. I like to take care of people, and I wanted to come back, so we got more bodies to roll.
Don't roll with Tyson. Tyson will knee ride you. Knee rides you right out of here. Yeah.
Oh, he's coming
Don't
for us.
roll with Tyson.
All right, guys, we're back. That's what happens when you mention Tyson's name.
A little commercial.
Just curses. Yeah.
Lightning struck.
Yeah. Later we'll have a sponsor. We'll insert the commercial there.
Right.
But yeah, we were talking.
I just want to clarify. I was joking about Tyson. He's a great partner.
Yeah, don't hurt us.
Great dude. Yeah.
Don't curse us. Don't end the podcast again, please.
But he does have a mean knee on belly.
Yeah.
His knee on belly and his shoulder pressure is mean as hell, man.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It's all good stuff about Tyson. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, one thing, the last thing that I wanted to kind of, my question was going to be about like the way I see it, and why I like to hear the stories again is because it helps me better understand everyone. And like, especially like, I feel like in life, like you kind of just go through life, like preparing yourself for battle, right? Putting on armor, every experience. It sounds like you already had a lot of like that armor on your mindset. But I'm curious, like what armor or like what benefits has like jiu-jitsu either given you, like new armor, or like strengthened some armor or characteristic that you already had?
But I think some additional armor is feeling a little bit more confident on how to move my body. I think, I don't know, again, this is my experience, right? As a man, as a father, I want to know that I'm out there hanging out, whatever, with my wife, with my daughter, even with my son. And if something happens, I can protect them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the biggest in the house. So, I kind of have to by default. And so I want to know how to use my body to do that, not just out of survival like I did when I was a kid, because I didn't know how to fight. I was just kind of like, I got to defend myself.
Yeah.
And it just happened. But it's different right now that we're adults, and it's just kind of a little bit more confidence. And the other one, I think it has expanded just my group of friends.
Yeah.
You know, the friendships, like Marty says, that I have made here in the short time of 6 months. And it comes, I think, because of the closeness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're choking each other and, arm locks, and we're trusting people.
Yeah. Serious trust.
Yeah.
Serious trust.
We're trusting others to practice their moves and vice versa. For something that can be very dangerous. We're playing with something dangerous, right? And we're practicing with something dangerous, but it's that trust, man. It's that trust with community. I think it's one of the best skills a person can have, because we go like children. They have friends, they hang out with children all day and they're playing and stuff like that. And as we progress, and most of us land into a regular kind of life where we go to work and then, we're home.
Yeah.
What else are we going to do? Because at work, most of the times, most of us, I guess, we're sitting down.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, not doing anything. And you really can have good acquaintances at work, but I don't think you can really have true friendships and good friendships. Right. So this community, it is a shield, I think, of just overall health for somebody to have.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Can we double tap on the closeness and the, like, how important it is to be rolling with somebody and know they're not going to overextend that elbow, that they're going to let go when it's time to tap. They're not going to crank it a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Like, and then also, I need to know if this happens to you guys, but man, I become a fan, like I'm watching and, I'm seeing the story develop from the day that you come in, and like, you got this guy who's really awkward. You got this guy who's really athletic, but he doesn't know how to take direction and replicate it. You got this person who is really good at replicating, but they have no cardio and they can't stay on the mats. They can't make it through a round. And then you, like, through just sheer dedication, one day I turn around and I'm like, what am I watching? Like, look at him,
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like, you're throwing things out, and their ability to consume it and process it and use it, like, from months and weeks down to hours, minutes, and you just start seeing them jump. I don't, you guys hear me like cheering and like, oh, that was on, like, I do that because I'm like, I saw you at the beginning, and I'm watching you progress, and I'm like, oh, they're totally different now, it's working,
It is working.
You just get so excited about that. Like, do you guys become like fans of the team, like your teammates, and like get hyped when they're moving in the right direction?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm like, everybody's got that story for me, some version of that story for me. And I just get so, like, invested in it, Anyway, that's that's my thing.
No, I see it sometimes, and I do get excited when I get thrown out on a butterfly. Somebody does a butterfly on me, I'm like, hell yeah! Because it's the body, right? I'm big. I'm 210 pounds or something like that. And for somebody smaller to do a butterfly guard on me, I don't even feel heavy. I just go like, whee, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about all of this is that I get to be a part of that for so many people. And it's not the personal pride that I take in it, but it's just like, you look at a person and you see, like, their pride in themselves, and that they're getting that from this, feels like, I don't know, just to be a contributor to that, because that's so important, like that internal confidence and that internal pride. There's something there. I got to spend time thinking about that for like a future podcast so I can talk about it more intelligently. But yeah, there's something really special in that, like I said, I get really invested in.
Yeah. We do too. We like to see it, and jiu-jitsu works.
Yes,
right?
it does. Yes,
We're
it
like,
does.
"Whoa." Yeah. Even today, we're learning throws, and Jason wasn't confident. I'm like, no, you do the hip, like, and that's the hardest part, right? Because you feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt, but it's like, no, you got to do it right, because at the tournament, that's not gonna top someone.
Yeah.
You know, so trusting each other. Oz, anything else you wanted to share that maybe we haven't covered about like mindset or a final message and that?
Oh, there's so much,
Yeah,
man.
keep going. Oh, keep it going then.
I welcome him to be back like a year or so from now. But I think there's just so much about, like a mindset, but it's about trusting yourself and really asking, knowing yourself, right? You got to know yourself and what you want, play the tape out and see what happens. And if you don't like yourself, then do something about it.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you're seeing, where you're standing, what you're doing, where you at, do something about it. If you can, you have the freedom to, hey, I don't like my job. Do something about it. Hey, I like Virginia, but I want to do something better. Do something about it, right? I don't like the tape out. I don't like how the tape ends. If I don't stay with Joanna, back in 2000, that's what we did. Let's do something about it, and we decided to do something about it, right? Before I joined Jiu-Jitsu, I was working out a lot, and I've been working out a lot, but I also needed something different. I needed to change the direction I was following. And everything fell in place. Like I mentioned, we enrolled Elena, my daughter, in class, and I had always wanted to do something like this. And I knew from watching and reading that Jiu-Jitsu or the dudes that do MMA, they're super fit, and I knew Jiu-Jitsu was part of it. And I'm like, I love getting fit. And that was kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna do something about it. And it's hard sometimes because I go to work, and then I know that I have to go to the gym, but I also have to come here.
Yeah.
But I gotta do something about it because I'm okay with myself and I'm really comfortable in my body, but I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to be stronger. I'm doing something about it.
Yeah. Hey man, no, that's literally that's the message right there, And the reason why is it's that, right? It's like, hey, there's so much in life that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Things are gonna happen that are outside of your control.
Yeah.
But what you can control is what you do about it. So if you don't like where you're at right now, you heard it, Oz himself. Do something about it. And you can do it all one raw at a time. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. Oz, thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Good job.
Thanks for the pillows.
Yeah,
Hey, don't leave it hanging. See, look.